let's queer up politics. Sarah McBride launches campaign to become first transgender member of Congress.
One of the questions that I get asked the most is, what does it take to make government work better for people? Some people say it's compassion for others, a willingness to work with anyone, or having a thick skin. That's all true. And for me, it definitely takes one more thing: my morning coffee. Every day I get up and go to work. My job is to represent 50,000 of my neighbors. It can be tough out there. Too many politicians want to divide us, to tell us that teachers, doctors, even our own neighbors are the enemy. Blocking out the noise and focusing on what actually matters isn't easy. That part takes more than coffee. It takes guts and a backbone. That's how we finally got paid family and medical leave in Delaware. For years, working people had to choose between their job and supporting a family member with cancer, between their paycheck and spending a few weeks with their newborn child. So, I ran for the state senate to change that. We listened to unions and small business owners, brought people together, stood up to some big lobbyists, and got it done. This law is a good start, but government should do more to make it easier for people to raise a family. So I'm running for Congress. My commitment is to the people in Delaware who aren't seen, who don't shout the loudest or fund political campaigns. Parents busy raising their children. Seniors worried about paying for prescription drugs. Working people struggling to keep up. Everyone deserves a member of Congress who sees them and who respects them. Making a difference in Congress will take a lot of hard work and a lot of coffee. I hope you'll join me.
Suddenly I want a cup of coffee. Delaware Democrat Sarah McBride, who in 2020 became the nation's first openly transgender state senator, is setting out to make history again. This time as the first out transgender person elected to Congress. In a Monday campaign video, McBride announced her bid for Delaware's sole House seat. She said, quote, "Everyone deserves a member of Congress who sees them and who respects them," end quote. Although McBride, 32, is not the first openly transgender person to run for Congress, she could be the first with a fighting chance. She's been widely viewed as the frontrunner in the race for Delaware's at-large congressional district, which Lisa Rochester won last year with more than 55% of the vote. In an interview with the News Journal, McBride said she's cognizant of the uniqueness of her candidacy. McBride came out publicly as transgender at 21 while entering her senior year at American University in Washington, where she studied political science. In an op-ed published in the university's student newspaper titled The Real Me, McBride, then the university's outgoing student body president, wrote that she had spent her entire life struggling with her gender identity. A native of Wilmington, McBride previously served on the board of directors of Equality Delaware, an LGBTQ+ advocacy organization, and helped lead a successful effort to add gender identity and expression to the state's non-discrimination laws. How refreshing is it to have such a upbeat, like heart-lifting, caring political campaign and video go out instead of these bashing clickbait hate mail. I feel like I'm just like, I feel so attacked and I'm like, oh my God, why are they so aggressive towards me? But this one just like was like, oh, I want to go have like coffee. I want to go have coffee with this person. I want to go just chit chat. And you know, it's very refreshing to see this.
But she also seems like she will stand up for significant and important rights too.
Absolutely.
So that's what I love about her.
Well,
She wins.
You know, I think what I love is just the firmness, right? Like you said, she feels like somebody who's going to stand up. She feels like somebody who's going to be firm on all issues that I think are not that I live in Delaware, but are that important to me as a registered Democrat. I'll be clear in it. And you know, and those are things like she mentioned, paid family leave and all of these other issues even beyond the LGBTQ+ community, and then obviously having that voice of trans representation in Congress is so meaningful and powerful.
I mean, the word that comes to mind when I look at her ad is intersectionality, because she's focusing on the issues. There was not one word in that ad about LGBTQ. There was obviously she's a candidate who happens to be transgender. That's the world we want to live in, right? We don't want to live in the world where we're like, vote for the transgender candidate. No, we want to live in the world where the transgender candidate is the best candidate for the job. She obviously seems very qualified, has a great background in political science, went to a fantastic university, worked for Equality Delaware, all of those things. But the messaging was about families, seniors, family care, family leave, all of the democratic ideals that are very important. I think that's one of the things that will probably get us more representation in the LGBTQ community, is that we challenge that we aren't just talking about our own issues. I mean, I know with the task force, one of the things that they focus on is those intersectionality issues, like, again, women's reproductive rights. That's a right that, of course, there are women who are LGBTQ, but they also are being attacked on their reproductive rights, or are people of color, of course, again, an LGBTQ issue, but also an intersectionality. So I applaud her for her messaging. She seems like she's going to run a great campaign. I'm glad to hear she's favored to win, which would be very exciting.
And she's young.
Absolutely. Could have a huge career.
People in Congress.
Yeah, we need more young representation.
Clean up the sheets.
Need to see more of our own people, there.
We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.